Hi, this is Jacob Nash with JNGL, and we're continuing this lesson 1. And as I was saying, we labeled this right here. This is opposite, this is hypotenuse, this is adjacent. And you are going to circle the two ones that are labeled. That is this one. That is this one. Okay, the two letters that are in those are O and H. And remember, we go back up to our Greek. The U is going to be the same thing as the H. The diction, sorry. The A alpha is going to be the same thing as the O, and the Y comma is going to be the same thing as the A. So we know from SOHCAHTOA that SOH is going to be the thing, and the S is for sign. So we know we're taking the sign for this one. So we can put that in parentheses and put sin. Sin. And then what you do is you set it equal to the equation. And we are going to do O over H, which is X over 16. X is in the numerator. Honestly, the ones that are easier are when X is in the numerator. That is, if you know the shortcut for this one, but we'll get to that. But we need to have X by itself. So what you're going to do is multiply each side by 16. Or, in any case, you would multiply by whatever numbers in the denominator if X is in the numerator. So now we know that this is 16 times sine of 41. And I'm actually going to go onto the calculator to show you how this works. So 16... if you're doing times, you can push the times button. You can do parentheses. But also, if you just push sine... Oh, okay. That doesn't work for this one. So, a different thing that you have to do, you might just want to do if you had an actual calculator that's not on a device, you would just want to do 16, just plug it in as it is, 16 times sine times 41. But it works different on electronic ones. So what you have to do actually for this one, what I'll have to do is 41 sine, and I'm taking that sine. And always whenever you do sine, cosine, or tangent, it's always going to be some really annoying, weird number. But then you're going to multiply that by 16. So we know our commutative that we can do that in a different order. And usually in trigonometry, you will round to the tenths. So that 3 will round down. So it's going to be negative 2.5 for the sine. Well, we know something didn't go right because there's not negative side lengths triangles. Well, I do have to say, how you're going to do it is 16 times sine of 41. It is not that. I think that calculator messed up. So forget that, but you know how you would solve. So if it's in the denominator, it's different. We still have the reference angle that we can write down off the bat. Now we need to find it out if we're going to do sine, cosine, or tangent. How we do that is we just label everything by either our Greek or just normal letters. Honestly, if the Greek just confuses you, just remember HOA. And you can just change these equations with whatever it is. Really, you could make this into O over H, and then, for the other ones you would do that. But, anyways, this is going to be the H. This is going to be the A. And since this is opposite from it, this is going to be the O. And the two things that are labeled are the A and O. So this time we're going to do tan. Most of the time, when you have an X in the denominator, it will be tangent, but not always. Sometimes it can be cosine or sine. Sorry. But then you're going to multiply that by not x over 23. 23 over x, because it's oa, not ao, or whatever you would say. 23 over x. This time you cannot multiply both sides by 23. That is not a thing you can do. What you would have to do is do your algebra, which would require you would have to multiply both sides by x instead, and then divide everything by tangent 58. But the easy thing that you can do, the shortcut that you can do, if you really just want to do shortcut, you do have to remember it, but the shortcut is just taking the tangent 58 and replacing it with x, and that's what your answer is. But it's still not simplified. You still have to solve. And once again, my calculator on this computer that I'm using will not do that, and I'm not going to bother going on my phone because I already know it's going to do the exact same thing, and I don't want to show you the wrong thing, but you would just go into the calculator and say 23 divided by the tangent of 58. Well, what if you're trying to find missing angle? This is somewhat simpler. What you have to do this time is you don't have a reference angle. Well, actually you do. You have a reference angle of x, which it's not labeled once again. Don't know why nothing got labeled in this thing that I'm using. If you notice that I'm not on my Wixie thing, it's because I don't know. I don't remember why. I think it just would work better for this case. But anyways, I found out I could draw on these PDFs, so that's good. But this time x is your reference angle, so you're just gonna put down x. Now, once again, label everything Greek or normal alphabet. This will be the hypotenuse h. This will be the oh, sorry, I just sounded really stupid, but the fire alarm is going off. Excuse me. Okay, sorry about that. That something was wrong. My family members, they just are crazy. They think they can cook. I have a lot of siblings who think they can cook. Well, too bad. Sorry for that interruption. Back to what I was saying. We're labeling. This is going to be the O. This is going to be the A. And then what you do is you're going to instead put in the numbers for the equation, but this time there's not going to be an x on this side. So the ones that are labeled are going to be this. Forget about this A because it's not labeled at all. Don't need to do that. So it's, if we're thinking of Sukatoa, so in that first syllable, OH. So O over H is 7 over 17. So X something. Well, so the first letter is S, so we know we're taking the sign. So sine of X equals 17. What you would do from there is do a very odd thing. And if you notice that earlier I talked about doing second and doing the negative firsts, well, this time that's what you have to do. You will multiply this whole side by whatever it is to the negative first. So if it happened to be tangent, you do that, or if it was cosine, but this time it's sine, so we do that. But remember, whenever we're doing our algebra stuff, you always have to do the same thing to both sides. So also sine over -1 for this one. Okay, then you would solve for there. Once again, can't do that. But that is it. Thanks for watching. Sorry for a fire alarm incident. Glad it wasn't a real fire, but I already knew it wasn't. So, thank you.